The news this morning of President Trump walking away from this deal with North Korea. You're somebody who understands China very well. How do you think the Chinese read that today?
I think the Chinese be disappointed. The Americans are disappointed. I can't speak for the North Koreans. But what the North Koreans put on the table as a precondition was not achievable. And so it's really sort of a shame. It's always good for people to meet. You press something forward a bit, but there was no deal to do. And, you know, China and the U.S. really have, almost identical types of objectives. China really wants a denuclearized Korean peninsula, as does the United States. So it's a disappointing day. I don't think it changes much about the trade negotiations between the U.S. and China, which are really independent.
There are kind of two takes on how China might be viewing this. One take is that they would look at this and think, okay, President Trump didn't get this deal, so he will be more desperate to get a trade deal done with China. But the opposite is another view that's out there that says, wait a second, President Xi watches this. Joe was just talking about Gordon Chang's reaction to this. He says President Xi sees this and thinks, okay, maybe this puts more pressure on us. We can't come up with a deal that we have no intention of actually sticking by. We better be serious in our negotiations. What do you think the correct answer is?
I think neither of those is particularly on the mark. I mean, when you talk to the Chinese about North Korea, they think that if anything goes wrong on that peninsula, there's nuclear waste that's going to come into China. That is their number one concern. And so they would like a demilitarized, denuclearized North Korea. And to the extent it didn't happen, actually moves the countries together further.
You mean China and the United States?
China and the U.S., because they both want to accomplish the same thing and didn't have the benefit of doing it.
Why doesn't China put more pressure on the North Koreans to do that? I mean, we've always heard that they're the ones who could really turn the screws on the North Koreans because it's about the only place that they're continuing
I'd
to
say
be
the game isn't over. This is somewhere in the first quarter of a football game with 4 quarters. So don't overread where the game is now.